Alright, good day again, guys. What I have on my screen are basically, again, my 3D superstructure, my 3D floor foundation and footing, and a copy of the building in 3D, as well as my 2D foundation footing and my 2D floor plan. Today we're going to be proceeding with the extraction of our elevations and sections. Alright, and to do that I'm basically going to be joining my 3D foundations to my superstructure, thereby having the complete building. I'm going to be doing that on the 3D side so that I can ensure that the building is connected at the exact point, because from a top view it is hard to tell exactly at what point the foundation would have been connected if we were to do that from a top view. And so from my 3D side I'm going to do a move, and I'm going to be careful that I select all the walls or all the entities on my 3D footing, and so selecting all that. We could also have done the selection on our 2D side. I think on this side it would have been easier to get in there, ensuring that we have selected the entire thing. Then we could go back to our 3D side, give an enter, and hold it perhaps at this point. It is important that you hold it at a point that you are familiar with on the 3D superstructure as well. And so I am certain that this point will be connected here. And so I'm going to be holding it here. And I'm going to be moving that. And I'm going to be pasting it right there. Alright. Now there I am certain now that I have my entire 3D building. Alright. We could also have a look at that in our conceptual to realize again that the building has been connected. Alright, again let me do a little orbit, have a look around the entire structure. Alright. So there we go, right around the building. We'll be doing some more work on this 3D as it relates to enhancing its appearance, and so we'll be assigning material, perhaps painting some walls. I'm not certain to what extent we'll be able to do any rendering, but we'll be coming back to this 3D for future works. Alright, now I'm going to be extracting first of all my 4 elevations. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to, let me hide this, and I'm going to select elevation line from my section and elevation tabs. Now when I select elevation line, what is important is that we go in an anti-clockwise direction. And so to extract my front view, I'm going to draw my elevation line from a left to a right, ensuring that my elevation line passes the entire building. So I ensure that I started outside the building and I'm drawing it past the building on this side as well. Then I give a click, and AutoCAD wants the insertion point. Where do I want this elevation inserted? I'm going to place it right here with the rest of my 2D collections. So let me paste my elevations here, for example. Alright, there AutoCAD would have generated my elevations in 2D. One of the things I have realized, however, is that it was generated on a layer that was in hidden detail, and so I'm going to do some changes to that. In order to fix that, however, all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going to my properties, and I'm going to be changing my my line type from a hidden detail to a by layer type, Alright. As a matter of fact, tell you what, let me just delete this elevation for a smooth process, and let me also delete my elevation line. I could have regenerated it, but I'm just going to do the entire process over again. I'm going to ensure, however, that my line type, that my layer, sorry about that, I'm going to ensure that my line type will now come out as a continuous type. So let's go in here, and I'm going to be choosing continuous as my line type. Alright, so here we go again. From my sections and elevation tab, I'm going to be selecting elevation, and then I'm going to be drawing my elevation line and ensure that it is wider than the building. So when I draw in a left to right, and I'm going to be placing my elevation again right here. There, AutoCAD would have given my front elevation, and now my lines would have been solid. The only thing, however, is that the elevation is not required to show foundation footing, and so we will be deleting or removing the footing in a bit. To get our right side elevation in a similar manner, again we go elevation line, or since that was the last command I entered, I would just give an enter, and again I'm going in an anti-clockwise. Ensure that you start outside the building and that we also go beyond the building. Then I give a click. AutoCAD wants the insertion point. Again, I'm just going to place it here for now. Again, AutoCAD has generated the right side elevation of this building, looking towards the building. Alright. For the back view or the rear elevation of this building, again, I give an enter, and I am ensuring that I start outside the building and I'm going beyond the building. Alright. Again, AutoCAD wants to know where to put it, so I'm going to say put it here, for example. Again, we would have had the rear elevation of the building being generated. They look a little bit bland right now in terms of everything being generated in one color, but we will have to do some exploding and our own coloring and enhancing of these views. One final view remains, and let us go and extract our left side view. Again, I'm going in an anti-clockwise, starting outside and going beyond. And again, I'm going to be just pasting it here, for example. Alright, I'm going to be moving them for a better arrangement. So here we would have had our 4 elevations. Looking at the front of the building, we would have seen this particular view. Looking at the right side, we would have been seeing this. Looking at the rear, this is the view we would have been seeing. And from the left side, this is the view we would have been given, showing the garage door and those windows. I had actually just dropped them, but in terms of a neater arrangement, I would just basically draw a line. You know, I'm going to be drawing a line from the base of my footing as my reference line, really. Alright, then I'm going to be moving my elevations to one level. It helps when we are annotating, because it would help if things just move in one perfect horizontal. And so I'm moving all my elevations to one level. So let's move the base up to that line, and finally let's move this one also up to my, where did that one go? Alright, it went out there. Doesn't matter, because I'm also going to be moving them a little closer to each other again. So let me shift even the first one over a bit, move them. I'm just doing this by sight. There might be need for further moving again, but for now I'm just dropping them a little closer to each other in terms of a neater screen arrangement. Alright, let that drop here for now. Let me go ahead and remove this line. So I can now bring in greater focus. And we would now realize that we now have our 4 elevations. Again, a lot of annotations to be done in terms of labeling, dimensioning, hatching, that sort of a thing. Alright. Now, in terms of our sections, usually we would want to make sections that cut across places like your kitchen, perhaps your bathrooms, your wash area, your garage, those general areas. And so I'm going to be making a cut across our master bedroom, running between our closets, across the master bathroom, the garage, and the washroom. And I'm going to be looking to my right, rather to my left, all right, or to the left of the building. To do that, from our same sections and elevations tab, but this time we're going for a section line, all right, because we want to be cutting through the building. So I select my section line and I ensure that my crosshair is in line with where I want to be making that cut. And from outside of the building, I give a click here. I pull up through the building. When I'm all the way through, I give another click and enter. Now AutoCAD wants to know which direction I want to be viewing in. And like I said, I want to be viewing to my left or to the left of the building. So I move to my left and I give another click. Notice that my cutting plane lines or my viewing arrows now points in the direction that I clicked. AutoCAD now wants an insertion point. So I'm going to be placing my section just below my elevations. So let me turn my snap off, my ortho off, and let me paste it here. Alright, now if I was to cut the building at that point, now this is what I'm going to be seeing. I will be looking inside my master bedroom, seeing its window. I'm seeing the closet doors as I pass through to the master bathroom. Here I'm in the garage, then I'm in the wash area back on the outside. Alright, so that's what that section would reveal. I'm also going to be making my other cut across both bathrooms. Alright, so I'm going to be cutting across both bathrooms and I'm going to be looking towards the rear of the building. To do that again, I go section line, and when my crosshair lines up with the point that I wish to be cutting, again, you can determine where you would want that cut to be made. If you want to be showing like difference in floor levels, that sort of thing, then you would make a determination as to where to make that cut and in which direction you'd want to be viewing. I'm going to be making this cut across here, and I'm going to be looking, I think I'm going to be looking towards the front of this building. Alright, and so again, I make my cut from, say, this point. Let me turn ortho on for horizontal movements. And I'm moving across the building. Now that I'm all the way through, I give a click and enter. And I'm going to be pulling in this direction. Now, it is important that you pull over the entire building. Then click. Alright. Now, AutoCAD wants the insertion point, and I'm going to be placing it beside this one here. There again, I would have had both sections. AutoCAD would have shown me what would be seen if a cut was made at that location looking towards the front of the building. Again, you can make a determination as to where on the building you would rather your cut made based on what you would want to be displaying. Alright. Usually, however, we would want to be displaying features such as a difference in floor level, perhaps types of cupboards, those type of things. Alright. Again, I'm going to be organizing my drawings a little neater, and so I'm going to be just shifting my section here, and again let me draw a line to achieve levelness. Alright, with my ortho on, and I'm going to be moving. Let me get my move. I'm going to be moving this section, holding it here, and I'm going to be moving it to the top. My perpendicular snap seems to be off, so let me enter my snap controls and turn on perpendicular, such that when I go up I would have seen my perpendicular point. Let me also move drawing closer for neater screen display. Alright, so it is important that you keep your drawings organized, to the extent that I am now going to be just drawing a rectangle or a box around all my 2D drawings. Let me make it a large rectangle because there are more drawings to be included in this box. Alright, so all my 2D drawings are now being collected in this box. There is really no need for us to be splitting the screen for now. And so here forward, what we're going to be working on is basically a single screen, because we're now going to be working on our 2D drawings. And of such, there would be no need for us to be viewing 2D and 3D. To do that, I'm going back on my 2D side, and I'm going to now select my plus, which was previously a minus sign. Now a plus indicated that there are actually more than one viewing screens. I'm going to be selecting that, and from my view configuration list, I'm going back for a single screen. Alright, when you hit that, AutoCAD would now have reverted to a single screen. So we can still, however, be viewing in 3D by simply changing our view from a top view to a southwest or whatever the view might have been. But for now, we're going to be populating our 2D drawings, our architectural pieces, and of such a single screen would have been enough. Alright, so here we have extracted our elevations, both external elevations and internal elevations, which are referred to as sections. Alright, for our next video, however, we're going to be pausing with the extraction of these views, and we're going to focus on completing our, or not really completing, but we would want to be including stiffeners in our floor and foundation plans. But I think we're going to be drawing first, however, the roof plan, or the roof framing and slab plan. Alright, so that's for our next video. Until then, have fun drawing.